Hey, bitches.
That's how we're introing this.
Yes.
You know what? Fine. I don't have to censor everything. Let's do this.
The
All right.
the
So
kid show, even
yeah,
though we're talking about kind of a kid show,
this
I guess.
this is a very mature show where we're only talking about mature men in spandex.
Yes,
All right.
pedos and speedos.
Yes. Anyway. God, we are already off to a start. Hi, I'm Major Disaster, and I have my good buddy Anno here because I didn't want to suffer by myself.
Yep. Hey,
And
everybody, it's the Anomaly.
and today we're ranking every single bat suit.
Woo!
I didn't want to suffer by myself, so Anno's here.
Yes.
A couple ground rules before we start. First, the Batman has not always had good depictions, so we're ranking these purely on how they look, not like the writing or the actor playing them or any of that, just purely the physical design. And
Really bad appearance.
yep. And also, we are only ranking Batman. We are not ranking Batgirl or Batwoman or Batwing.
Or bat
Batman.
thing. Or bat they them.
Yeah. Only Bat he him. And we're gonna try and keep this fairly brief for each one, just because there are almost 200 suits on this list. And
Yes.
let's get this show on the road. Thought to ease into it, I'm gonna show you some concept art first for various projects that didn't come to light. First off, we have a couple of suits from a canceled Year One movie, which was supposed to reboot the Batman movies, but then we got the Dark Knight trilogy instead. These two are basically the same, but one's red and one's gray. And it's hard to rank.
Honestly,
Okay, here's my thing. It's hard to judge just based on concept art, but if this came out in like the late 90s and that's how he looked, I probably would have been cool with it.
not the for me, not the 90s. Like 70s or 80s would be acceptable because this is a very dated design.
Yeah,
Like even by that standard,
and even though it's supposed to be like his first bat suit, basically,
he looks like a Peter Pan extra.
I hate that I can actually see that. Oh yeah, I probably should have gone over the tier list names before we started this.
Yeah.
Alright, so at the top we have
I'm vengeance.
because of course the cream of the crop, the best Batmans. Second from the top we have
What are you? I'm Batman.
so just it's good. Not totally in love with it, but it's good. For the middle tier we have
You wouldn't hit a lady, would you?
The hammer of justice is unisex.
which is just it's okay. No strong feelings one way or another. Second from the bottom we have Bat Nipples, which it's pretty bad, but it's not the worst. And at the bottom we have Are You Dense? Which is
Yeah, I
just
definitely put this in the bat nipples category.
I don't know if I can agree with that. Alright, hear me out. The red one can go in Bat Nipples and the gray one can go in Hammers of Justice.
That's the middle one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you
Alright.
that.
Alright, next up, we have the canceled Batsuit from the Justice League Mortal movie that was supposed to come out in 2008 starring actual Cannibal Army Hammer, which I'm not really feeling this one. It's a weird looking suit.
It's pretty chunky, yeah, but it's like it's kind of standard Batman to me, so I don't really have a I don't hate it, but I also don't love it, you know what I mean?
And it's weird because you got like this militarized torso, got like the robot arms and the weird latex cowl with all the wrinkles on his forehead. It's a weird mishmash.
It is.
I-
It'd definitely be like for an older Batman, but it's
I don't hate it that much, but it's not good. I'm kind of thinking Bat Nipples.
I am thinking Hammers of Justice for this one.
Alright, I'm willing to settle for Hammers of Justice. Next up is from the canceled Ben Affleck Batman movie, which would have been a prequel to BVS. And I kind of dig this one.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's a very base Batman that you can't really go wrong with.
Yeah, it's just standard Batman. And I feel like it's hard to screw up a Batman, you know?
Well, I mean, unless you want to look like a Peter Pan extra or a Pedos and Speedos.
We're getting there, Anna. We're getting there. Alright. You're thinking Hammers of Justice or I'm Batman?
I'm thinking I'm Batman.
Alright. Going, I'm Batman. And this next one, have you played the Arkham games?
Yes, I have.
Alright, so this would have been a sequel to Arkham Knight starring Damian. I like the ideas behind this, but not so much how it looks. He was supposed to have like a nanotech cape.
I think the cape looks pretty cool in the style, and this is Damian Wayne, right?
Yep.
Honestly, I find it very fitting considering how it's supposed to be a much more, I guess, lethal version of Batman's suit, like given the blades on his shoulder,
Yeah.
not shoulders, elbows.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a literally edgier Batman, not just
Yeah, I was
figuratively.
thinking that.
Alright, so I'm Batman for this one?
Yeah, I'm Batman.
Alright, so I'm Batman. Alright. This next one is also from a scrapped Arkham sequel, and I want to say this was starring Bruce, but don't quote me on that. It's been a few years since I saw this floating around. It's very Flashpoint-y, which...
I don't like the red accents, especially if this is supposed to be like the regular Batman.
Yeah, I feel like if it had more red, it would look better, but just the eyes and the random strips on his gauntlets kind of kill it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Like,
Yeah.
Hammers of Justice, then?
Hammers of Justice.
Alright. Next one is from the CW Batwoman show, when they actually thought they could have Batman physically show up. It's basically how he would have looked in costume if he were to show up. It's alright.
Yeah, it's all right. Honestly, it's a Hammers of Justice Batman. Like nothing about it really stands out. But,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it
still
looks
looks
like
nice.
Batman. Now, I have some pretty strong opinions about this next one just on principle. The original Bob Kane sketch, when he first got the idea for Batman, this is just Mr. Incredible with wings.
Honestly,
I-
this looks like if Mr. Incredible had like a deal with Satan or something. It was like,
There's a scrap plot point from the middle of the movie. Yeah, I also just don't like Bob Kane, but that's a whole different tangent for another day. I'm thinking he looks pretty dense to me.
yeah, he's not a Batman. Like it looks okay if it were its own thing, but as Batman, it's just no.
Yeah, pretty much. So, are you dense? It is.
Are you
And
dense?
Alright, so next we have for simplicity, I'm going to call it the Super Friends Batman. We're moving on to animation now. This was used for all of the shows throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but Super Friends. Looks fine.
It looks fine. It's goofy, obviously, but
And it's Silver Age Batman. What else do you want?
yeah.
What are you thinking? Hammers of Justice?
Hammers of Justice, yeah.
Alright. Next up, did you know Batman appeared in The Simpsons?
Yes, I did.
He looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Oh,
That is the face of a man regretting his life choices right there.
get the bat cyanide.
Yeah. I realize this is The Simpsons, it's supposed to look dumb. I'm kind of thinking bat nipples for this one. He looks like he's
Bat
got
nipples.
looks like he's got some bat nipples under there.
Yeah, it got some real hard nipples. It's cold outside.
Probably was cold when he was filming that. Alright, this is gonna be fun. Next up we have Batman the Animated Series.
You can't go wrong with that. It's great.
If you think about it, it is a basic bat suit, but the art style really ties it all together.
Honestly,
Now, is he Batman or is he Vengeance?
I'd say, we can't incorporate like the story to it, so I'm gonna have to say
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Alright. And if we were judging the writing and voice acting, this would easily be Vengeance.
Easily, yeah.
Alright, so next up is the new Batman Adventures, or the animated series Season 4. I don't like this one as much.
I honestly do. I like the darker tones. I prefer the color.
Yeah, and I think the color is what throws it off a little for me, because it is a lot more washed out than the BTAS look. Though I don't hate it by any means, I just prefer the other suit.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I'd put this in I'm Batman, but if we're putting it to like high to low tier, I'd say like low tier I'm Batman.
Alright, so we'll just put it next to the BTAS look. Next up is one that actually does fix all the minor nitpicks I have with the new Batman Adventure suit, which is Justice League. I like the blue, I like the taller ears, it just ties the whole thing together for me.
Yeah, and I like the little shade of on his chin. It's a little too wide for me. Like his face is a little too long in this one, and just looks flatter. But still, the suit is great.
I'm thinking I'm Vengeance.
I'd put it in I'm Batman, but if you want, you can put it in I'm Vengeance.
It's my video, it's going in the tier I want. Alright, so next up we have a couple what if suits from the DC animated universe. First is the Savage Time suit, where Vandal Savage goes back in time and changes stuff. I like the more military aesthetic. I like that he doesn't have his eyes showing, kind of playing up the bat theme.
I like it. Like there's nothing else for me to say here. It's just
Yeah.
a good looking Batman design.
It's just a neat suit. What are you thinking? I'm Batman?
I'm Batman.
Oh, whoops. Not what I meant to do. I opened that file up in another tab. It's not what I meant to do.
And now you can see major search history.
No! Next up is the Justice Lord's Batman.
Justice Lord's Batman?
Yeah.
I really like the colors.
Yeah, I like the cowl and cape being gray and the rest of it being black is a change I didn't know I wanted to see until I saw this suit.
Honestly.
I like the Batman Beyond symbol.
Batman Beyond is always great.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. We're almost there. What are you thinking? I'm Vengeance?
I'm Vengeance.
Alright. Next up is, hey, you spoiled the surprise, Batman Beyond. What can you say about this suit that hasn't already been done to death? It's a great suit.
Yeah, it's sleek. It's while the design isn't like anything like spectacular, it doesn't really need to be. Like
yeah, and it looks how you'd expect a super futuristic Batman to look.
Exactly.
Right? And the fact that the cape was replaced with retractable wings is a nice bonus.
Honestly.
I'm thinking he's Vengeance.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's Vengeance.
Alright, next up is the Batman I grew up with, The Batman, 2004.
Yes, I am Vengeance easily.
Okay, I'm glad we can agree on that.
Dude, dude, I grew up with that. That's
Oh, yeah.
one of my favorites.
My favorite aspects about this suit are the pointy fingers and the bigger, more expressive eyes.
Honestly. Just everything about that show was great.
Oh yeah, criminally underrated.
Kevin Michael Richardson as Joker is the best.
I don't know if I'd call him the best, but I love him. Anyway, next up, the Brave and the Bold Batman.
No, below bat nipples. Ugh.
Really, you don't like the Brave and the Bold?
I hate the Brave and the Bold.
Ooh, alright.
The art style is atrocious.
To be fair, it is trying to look like the Silver Age of comics, and it does nail that pretty well.
It does, but it's also like a really ugly style. Like the only thing that's really going for it is nostalgia for people who are like, what, 60?
Okay, I don't want to put it...
Bat nipples.
Okay, I didn't want to put it in Are You Dense, but I'm willing to live with bat nipples. Alright, next up we have Beware the Batman, which I remember liking when it came out, but now that I'm older, it's just eh. Not only is it just a bland suit on its own, but the art style is so weird.
It gives me like Transformers Prime vibes.
Yeah, except that show got away with it because they were robots.
Yeah.
I like the long ears, I can give it that. I do like a Batman.
The head sculpt is very odd.
His face proportions are weird. What are you
Honestly.
thinking? Bat nipples or are you dense?
Bat nipples.
Alright. Alright, next up is a show I've never
Really
actually
picking at some
watched.
rock hard ones.
And hey, you can clearly see he's wearing latex rubber, so yeah. Next up is a show I've heard is great, but I've never watched it myself. Justice League Action.
Yes, I definitely put it in. They definitely put it in. I'm Batman.
Yeah, it's basically just the Batfleck suit, but in animation.
Yeah,
He's not Vengeance, but he is Batman.
indeed.
Next up, now that we're past the DC animated universe, we have the DC animated movie universe, which is a completely separate thing. Don't get it mixed up.
Don't
Basically,
get it twisted.
yeah, New 52 Batman, but animated. And
So yeah,
and it's fine, I guess.
personally, I love how detailed it is. I like the colors. The Speedo thing, could do without.
Yeah, and the trunks are something. If he has them, fine. If he doesn't, fine. I've never really cared one way or another.
One thing's for certain: this Batman's caked up.
Oh, he sure is, buddy. So, Hammers of Justice or I'm Batman?
I'm Batman.
Alright. Next up is from the Batman Bad Blood movie, which is awful, but I have to acknowledge it. This one is Dick Grayson as Batman.
You don't like Bad Blood?
Was not fond of that movie.
You know what? That's fair.
And it's the Silver Age suit, but Dick Grayson's wearing it.
Yeah, it's not a bad suit by any means, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like the style drags it down a little bit. I feel like blue Batman just doesn't work in this style that's trying to look serious. And I'm thinking Hammers of Justice. It's not bad. It's just
Hammers
not.
of Justice, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up is from the Batman Hush animated movie, which was physically painful to sit through. It's just the Hush suit, but in this art style. This circles back to what I said about blue not really working in this style.
Yeah, well, for me, it's just the face that really, like, proportionally, the head just looks so weird. And the ears. The ears are just weird, man.
The Hush comic had great art, did great justice to the suit, but it just doesn't work in this. I'm thinking Bat Nipples.
Bat Nipples.
And hey, he's with Catwoman a lot in that movie, you never know. Alright, next one is from Justice League Apocalypse War. This is basically Batman possessed by Darkseid.
If you want an edgy Batman, another one, here you go. It's
yeah.
pretty good.
Corrupted Batman. I'm Batman, I guess?
I'm Batman.
Alright, next up is from another show that I hold near and dear to my heart, Young Justice Batman.
Yeah, that's an easy I Am Vengeance there if you want to slap it on.
I think I can go with I'm Vengeance. I like that it looks armored without going overboard with it. Still looks like classic Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And in season 3, I believe it was, he got an upgrade. This is just the animated movie universe suit. It looks practically identical to that, so I feel like I kind of have to knock it down a point for not doing anything new.
Yeah, I'd give it that.
I'm thinking Hammers of Justice.
Hammers of Justice?
Alright. Next up is... Where is it? Ah, yes. Batman Unlimited Batman. I don't like it. I feel like in a different art style it would work better, but I'm not fond of this one.
Personally, I like the art style, I just don't like the colors.
Yeah. Either the art style or the colors just don't mix well together for whatever reason. Bat Nipples? Or is he dense?
Hammers of Justice.
Alright, I can live with that.
Bat Nipples if you want.
Alright. Next up is, and I believe you had some strong feelings about this before we started recording, Batman Ninja. Starting with the suit he starts off with, which is surprisingly hard to get pictures of.
Yep, I Am Vengeance, easy.
I don't like it very much. It feels very over-designed. Like you see all the straps on his legs, you see the blue in his stomach area for no reason. It feels like it's trying too hard to be overly detailed.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of the style that they were
Yeah.
trying to aim for, and I appreciate it to death on it. Just the cloth details, the armor in the suit. It looks proportionate, but also like not too chunky to where it'd be ugly. Like the where was that heckin' Shonker from before?
Which one? Brave and the Bold?
Yeah, like Brave and the Bold. It doesn't look ugly like that.
I will say, this boy's got some thick thighs on him.
Honestly, I thought he was just wearing some baggy ass pants.
Entirely possible. I like to think he just never skips leg day, and that's what it is.
Well, I mean, he is Batman after all.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna put it in I'm Batman. Maybe Hammers of Justice.
I'd put it in an I Am Vengeance, to be honest.
I don't know if I can give it that much credit.
You can just go for I'm Batman.
Alright, I will
Middle ground.
compromise on this one. Alright, next one is the one he wears, the one everyone knows.
Yep.
Ironically, he looks more like a samurai than a ninja, but I won't hold that against him.
Well, to start off, he was acting more like a ninja, but then they just, put him on a one-on-one fight with Joker, which that's a whole nother thing to talk about. But yeah, I like it, but it's also not Batman-y. It's just like you gave him a bat-like suit and then you strap some logos onto him.
Yeah,
The design looks awesome, but it's not Batman.
Yeah, I feel like he'd have a hard time realistically moving in this. Which, granted, it's an anime movie, they're not going for realism, but you know what I mean.
I'd probably say the side armor would probably be the biggest problem.
Yeah. Hammers of Justice or Bat Nipples?
Hammers of Justice.
Alright, next up is a show that grown men have very strong opinions on, and I find it weird. Teen Titans Go, Batman. Remember what I just said about skipping leg day?
Yeah. Are you dense? Easy.
Yeah. He has to be dense to be skipping leg day like that.
You have to be dense to like the show.
I mean, it's for toddlers. I don't really care all that much. Alright, next up is...
It's not even just that, but it's just like, I don't know how toddlers like it because it's kind of ugly. You know what I'm saying?
They're not old enough to have standards, but I just don't care.
Damn.
I will say, this is a tangent, but the first episode I ever saw of the show was the Driver's Ed episode, which I did find funny because I was taking Driver's Ed at the time, so is that oddly relatable factor, but that's just a whole other thing.
That's fair.
Alright, next up. Let's get back on track. Harley Quinn animated series Batman.
God damn, he's got that Igor chin.
I was gonna say Stan Smith, but yeah, that too. I like this Batman. It's a pretty standard suit, though.
Looks kind of like, you know how you're talking about how the samurai one couldn't move too well with it?
Yeah.
This looks really stiff, like the plating on it.
Like the torso.
The torso looks like you literally couldn't move sideways or like crunch forward with it.
This just made me remember something stupid. So I dressed up as Robert Pattinson Batman for Halloween at work last year and had that exact issue. Looking at him in this just reminds me of that and how I just physically could not bend over or turn. I don't want to say he's dense, but his bat nipples have got to be chafing. Alright, next up is from the Tomorrowverse, I guess they're calling it. Starting with Batman The Long Halloween and all the animated movies after that. Pretty classic Batman. I like the art style.
I like the art style and the colors. It's great.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Is he Vengeance or is he Batman?
He's just Batman.
Alright. Yeah, because the suit itself doesn't really do anything new or interesting. It's just a nice looking suit.
Just a nice looking Batman.
Alright, next up is from Batman Soul of the Dragon. This is just the animated series suit with wide ears. That boy's got some big ol' ears on him.
He looks so goofy.
Granted, it looks better in motion, but still.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Hammers of Justice on this one.
Hammers of Justice, yeah.
Alright, next up is... This one scares me a little, I'm gonna be honest. The Legion of Super Pets Batman, voiced by Keanu Reeves.
God damn.
I feel like I would like this if it was in a completely different art style.
Yeah, the suit is fine.
Conceptually, I like the yellow trim around the cape and the symbol. I like how it kind of substitutes the trunks with sort of undersuit look. It just looks so bizarre. He looks dense to me.
he looks like Batman with a few extra chromosomes.
He looks like if he was allergic to bats and didn't know it until he was already in the cave, so his chin's all swollen.
Oh, my vengeance, finally.
Sorry, what? I forgot to pack my EpiPen! I'm gonna say he looks dense.
Yeah, he's pretty dense. He's a dense boy.
Alright, next up. Bat Wheels. This is a show aimed for toddlers, so I'm not gonna give it too much flack. He is chunky.
But yeah, this is just thick, stubby-eared Batman.
This is Frank Miller Batman, but for kids.
Yeah.
I like the purple and the cape. I do like the colors.
Yeah, the colors aren't bad.
You know what? I'm gonna say he's Batman.
Yep, he's a thick Batman, but he's Batman.
He's Batman. Alright, last but not least for the animated side of things, I couldn't find a picture of this from the actual movie, so we're gonna have to settle for one of the skins that was in the Arkham games. This is from Batman Gotham Knight. I hate it. It's weird.
It looks like if Ridley Scott designed the Batman suit.
Okay, you know what really bugs me about this suit?
What?
Granted, no one would ever notice this unless they were looking for it, but if you look at it from the side, you can actually see a gap in the cowl from how far the front of the cowl is from his actual face.
Yeah.
There's like a 2-inch gap between his eyes, his actual eyes, and the eyes of the cowl. And I like suits with a collar, but this isn't it. He's dense. This boy is dense.
He's a dense boy.
I like how I said we were going to keep this brief, and I just went on a tear.
It's fine. It's fine. We went on a tear with what I personally very much like, so it's only fair.
Alright, so next up is the live-action side of things. It's from the 1941 serial. From nowadays, it looks goofy, it looks cheap, but for 1941, it's not bad.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Is he Batman?
Want some candy? Help me find my lost puppy. Come into my van.
The cowl does look super goofy, because that wasn't, like, tailored to his head at all.
This man's got some hard nipples for kids.
Alright. I didn't want to put it in Are You Dense because it was 41 for the first attempt.
Yeah.
This isn't the worst. Next up is from the sequel in 1943, and it looks somehow worse. Robin just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, you captured him.
What
Look at his forehead, though. It looks like a beluga whale.
His eyes don't even line up with the cowl.
This man is dense.
I like how the symbol isn't even on his chest, it's on his stomach. Yeah, he's dense.
The bat tongue.
Next up, next one, the man, the myth, the legend, Adam West.
This man's got some rock hard nipples.
And-
like I'm not even talking about the tier list. He actually has some hard ass nipples in there.
My favorite trivia is how Adam West and Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler, would go to orgies in costume, in character, and got kicked out because they refused to break character. Yeah, technically speaking, this is the most comic accurate live action suit, I'd say. And it's a classic.
Yes, it is a classic, but one that you can easily make fun of. You want to go Hammers of Justice for this one?
Yeah, Hammers of Justice. Alright, next up is Michael Keaton Batman from Batman 89. Now, I hate to be that guy because this is another Batman I grew up on, but when you start looking at like the flaws of the suit, it kind of drags it down. Like, you can see how dirty the suit is. It looks like it's got handprints all over it. The belt is way too high, and you can see like the seam in between the pants and the torso, even though it's supposed to be one piece. It's not bad by any means, even though he couldn't move whatsoever. Oh no, I am by myself.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was eating a muffin.
How dare you? Anyway, you heard me just rip the suit apart, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, me neither. And honestly, I like the movies even though they're literally just 80s porno flicks but without the porn.
I have never heard anyone describe the Tim Burton Batman movies like that, but I love it. I will say the logo is weird for me. I don't like those 2 extra points on it, even if it does make the suit more unique.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Alright, what are you thinking? Hammers of Justice or I'm Batman?
Hammers of Justice.
Alright. Next up is Batman Returns Batman, which honestly fixes every criticism I had of the previous suit.
Yeah.
It looks better tailored for him. They got the proper logo, the belt's where it should be. Again, he can't move worth an iota, but it does look better.
It does indeed.
Alright, so I would say he's earned the right to be Batman.
He is indeed Batman.
He sure is, buddy. Next up, Val Kilmer Batman from Batman Forever. I'm sorry, this looks like a BDSM suit. I'm just gonna say it.
This is another one of those, like, 1980s porno flick, but without the porn suits.
Yeah. And we already know where this is going. It literally has nipples. It's the bat nipples.
Yep, bat nipples. Hard-ass nipples.
Alright, next up we have the Sonar suit at the end of the movie. It doesn't have nipples, I'll grant it that.
It's an improvement.
I don't like this.
Like a xenomorph.
Yeah. It's got that H.R. Geiger feel to it, which I think he actually did design that suit, so that would explain it. I don't know if I like the silver color scheme.
I like it. His face, the actor's face is pretty chunky for the suit, but I mean, it's not bad.
So Hammers of Justice?
Yeah, Hammers of Justice.
Just on the basis that it doesn't have nipples. Alright.
Or a massive fucking bulge at the front.
I'm glad you said that, because next up, George Clooney. This suit has been done to death. What can we say about it that hasn't already been said for 30 years?
Batman titties.
Yeah. The blue is a choice, and I respect it. Here's the thing. I respect their thought processes. I can see the intention. It is a well-made suit. That's all I can say about it.
It looks like I chewed like a whole thing of purplish blue bubble gum, blew it out, and then wrapped it all around a man's body.
Yeah, and bat nipples. We all knew this was going to end up in bat nipples.
Yeah.
Of course it would. Next up is the ice suit from the end of the movie. To be honest,
let it go.
I hate you. I like this suit even less just because it is so transparently only exists to sell the toys.
Wait a second, we aren't going by that basis, only on appearance.
I know.
Look, personally, design-wise and color-wise, I love the suit. It looks great, but it's also like a little too flashy for Batman.
Yeah, and I want to put it in Are You Dense, to be honest.
I'll put it in bat nipples. Is that a good compromise?
I can live with it. Alright, next up is a substantial step up because, can only go up from there. Christian Bale's Batman Begins suit. Again, it has that issue of he can barely move in the thing, but I do like I like that it's a tactical, morph suit.
What you see versus what she sees is this angle.
I tried so hard to get, a good full body image, but this was the best I could do.
Where is she?
Now,
Get down and suck it.
Now, this is purely, my own bias, but whenever I see this specific picture of the suit, I just think of when I was reading comics growing up, and there was, a milk ad. It was, got milk, and it was just this render, but with a milk mustache.
That wasn't milk.
Now, I think he's Batman.
He's Batman, yeah.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
Alright, next up, I'm going to get so much hate for this, but the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises suit, I don't like this one as much.
For me, it's the head. Like the ears are fine, and I love the suit personally, but it's just the belt and the head that kind of ruined the look.
I don't know if it's so much the head, but granted, this is a good thing from a technical standpoint, but they really slimmed down the neck, and his head looks larger as a result.
He looks like a Sphinx cat.
Yeah, I can see it. This just feels way overcomplicated for my liking. He doesn't really look like a legend and a monster of the night. He just looks like a dude in SWAT gear.
He looks like not Batman, but Tactical Bingus Man, the Mall Ninja.
Yeah, so it's not the worst. I'm thinking Hammers of Justice.
Hammers of Justice, yeah.
And credit to the costume design for making him able to actually move. That is worth commending.
Honestly, yes.
Alright, next up, Batfleck, Batman vs. Superman. This is a really good suit, honestly. They adapted the comic look and actually made it believable in like a real world setting. The cape and cowl are one piece, but he can move his neck. I'd say he's Vengeance.
I have some opinions on it, but it's based solely on the movie, so yeah, we'll put him in Vengeance.
Alright. We're only judging these from the appearance, not from the movies they come from.
I know. I had to give you that reminder earlier.
Yeah. Next up is the armored suit that he punches Superman with. Again, another super solid comic accurate look.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Also Vengeance?
Vengeance. The Knight, even.
But he's not Batman. Not according to these tier names. Alright, next up is the Nightmare Batman. Conceptually, I like this, but he looks like he's gonna die of heat stroke in this thing.
Yeah, no, he looks like someone trying to like be Mad Max, but then they realize they're in the middle of like irradiated, incredibly hot Australia with no water, and then he just ends up dying from heat stroke within like 3 seconds of walking out of the shade.
Yeah, the suit already looks hot enough. Then he's got a heavy trench coat over it. He's got a scarf and baggy pants. He's not gonna fight Superman when he's dying of heat stroke and dehydration. I'm thinking Hammers of Justice.
Hammers of Justice, yeah.
Alright, next up is from Justice League. Just his normal suit he wears through two-thirds of the movie. I like the cowl and neck, I like the shape of it, but the rest of it feels like a downgrade.
It's just a standard I Am Batman kind of
It's
suit.
basically the same suit from the last movie, but a darker shade, so there's way less contrast, and needless armor bits on like the abs and the shoulders that really don't need to be there.
Yes, because of that one criminal who knows about anatomy and tries to stab him through the suit.
Yeah. The one criminal in all of Gotham with common sense. I'm thinking Hammers. It's not bad enough to be Bat Nipples, but Hammers.
Hammers, yeah.
Alright,
the Hammer of Justice is unisex.
Alright, next up is his tactical suit from the same movie.
Tackman.
I know we got a lot of flack for it at the time, but I actually do like the goggles. I like the shape of the cowl.
Gives me a Matrix kind of look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see it. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I can see it.
Oh no, I didn't mean it was a bad thing.
Alright. I'm thinking he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, Anno, prepare yourself for this one. How do you feel about the Gotham TV show? Were you aware that in the last episode of the show, they actually do have Batman as Batman?
Really, no.
This is the actual suit they used. Now, the suit looks awful. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I want to defend them for a minute. They were originally just straight up going to use the suit from Batman Begins, but higher ups said no, like 2 weeks before shooting, so they had to cobble something together in 2 weeks. It was never going to look good. That being said, it still doesn't look good.
So, beneath the pecs, like that little bit of, like, tummy and ab armor looks awful, but everything else is passable, in my opinion.
And I don't like any of... I like the belt. I'll give it that. I don't like anything about the rest of it. the logo looks awkwardly tacked on. The cape is two different materials for some reason. And it just hangs off the shoulders so awkwardly. He looks dense to me.
Yeah, dense.
Alright, next up, something that isn't dense. Robert Pattinson's Batman. Look,
His head just looks like it's the same problem as the Bingus Man, but he looks like he's wearing like rubber tires as a suit.
And I'm biased because I did love this movie. It's my favorite Batman to date. I love the suit so much that I actually cosplayed it for Halloween, like I said earlier. I want to put it in Vengeance. And he says it in the movie. He is Vengeance.
Yes, but I'd say he's simply Batman.
Ah, you're killing me, Anno. You're killing me. Alright, I'll put it in Batman.
Thank you.
Alright, next up is Ben Affleck's final costume, which is in The Flash. Granted, there are no good shots of this yet, but I don't like it.
Me neither.
Granted, it has blue on it. I do like a blue Batman, but the rest of this just looks awkward. What is that chest and thigh armor?
This is like they were trying like way too hard to be like all, new and techy and like kind of like
Yeah, it looks like they tried.
hexagonal.
Looks like they tried to be streamlined and armored at the same time. Like they couldn't choose one or the other.
It looks like have you played Wolfenstein?
Which one?
The New Order.
I played part of it.
Okay, so it kind of looks like the Daki Should suit, but like bad. It's like they've tried to copy off of it and failed miserably.
It's the meme where, can I copy your homework? Yeah, make sure it doesn't look too similar.
It just strips off what makes it good and put it in parts of it.
I think he's dense.
Yeah, dense.
Alright, so next up we have Michael Keaton again in the upcoming Flash movie. And it looks like a middle ground between his 89 and Returns suit. He can actually move his neck now. He can actually move like a human being, so props there.
Indeed.
I would say the only thing knocking it down is the black belt. Like, there needs to be something to break up all of that black.
Personally, I can appreciate just them keeping consistent with the color and just having the single logo. Like for me, it's just the neck and the head that don't do it for me. But
why not the neck and the head?
It makes him look like imagine him without the ears for a moment.
So he's just man.
No, he looks like his head and his neck are all one rectangle.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. And I'm thinking he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, now Anno, do you like musicals?
I hate musicals with a burning passion. They're so goddamn annoying.
Get out. Anyway, there were a couple Batman musicals. One was official, one wasn't. This is from the official one.
Cancer.
I would say, to be fair, for like a Broadway production that doesn't have like a movie budget, it's pretty solid.
Okay, I like the suit, I just don't like musicals. Like, the suit is awesome.
We're judging this on appearance, Anno.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
I'm saying appearance-wise, this is awesome.
Alright, is he Batman?
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright.
Man's wearing a cup bulge.
I have opinions about that. We'll get to that later. Next up is from an unofficial parody. I need to stress this is a parody of like Silver Age Batman, so it's supposed to look goofy. Holy Musical Batman, that's what it's called.
Bat nipples, he even has the nipples.
Oh yeah, you can see him poking through. I like that he's wearing actual underwear and sneakers.
He's wearing those Adidas. Bad Adidas.
I'm gonna be honest, I want to put this in Hammers. And it's charming in how dumb it is.
That's fair, that's fair.
Alright, next up, we're gonna do some video games. First up is from Batman. This is like 1979 or something. This is a very simplistic game. You just go through mazes. He looks sick. I don't mean that as in good. He looks like he's ill.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Are you saying like which way do you mean? He looks ill.
You know, he looks like he's going to throw up any second now. And more to the point, he looks dense.
I'm Corona Man. That joke is a lot more fucked up when you know the origin.
Yeah. Alright, so next up, Batman was also in an unlicensed, unauthorized game. This is called The Vengeance of Shinobi or something. Just a beat 'em up where Batman and Spider-Man are bosses for some reason.
I like the suit. It
I
looks
like
pretty cool.
I like the colors. Considering this was like 1991 or something and it's an unauthorized, it looks decent for what it is.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't know why his skin's green. He still looks sick, but I'd say bat nipples. He's not dense.
I'd put him in Hammers of Justice.
Alright, I feel like that's being too generous, but I can live with it. Alright, next up, Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe Batman.
It's just a normal Batman to me. Like,
Yeah,
nothing really to say about it.
I can't articulate why, but I played this game ever since it came out in 2008. Something about this, and its art style, the presentation, the voice act, nothing about this really felt right to me. Something feels ever so slightly off about it.
Just like that one little detail that you can't put your finger on, but it still looks wrong.
I think it's like the texture, because you can't really see it in this picture, but in game, it looks like it's made out of like burlap, like a really thick fabric, but it's got all these armor lines.
Yeah, I can see that actually.
I'm gonna say bat nipples,
Nipples, yeah.
even though the suit is way too thick to see them. Alright, next up, I'm sure everyone watching has been waiting for this. Batman Arkham Asylum. It's a good starting point. There are a few nitpicks I have, like this symbol having those 2 points again for some reason, but it's solid. It's a good starting point.
It's a good suit. Like, what else is there to say about it?
Yeah, he is Batman.
He is Batman, indeed.
Next up is the Arkham City Batman, which this is genuinely one of my favorite Batsuits of all time. It's got the proper logo, the gauntlets are streamlined, but they still look armored. He's got a thicker belt. I would say he's Vengeance.
He is Vengeance. God, I feel so biased because of it.
And Arkham City is one of my favorite games of all time, so I get it.
Appearance.
Yeah, I know. He's still Vengeance, though. Next up is Arkham Origins. I like this, but I don't like the colors.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
Like, there's not enough contrast. Like, the dark bits that should be dark aren't dark enough. The belt's the same color as the rest of it. It just looks like a gray blob.
Looks too light, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Hammers. It's not offensively bad, but it's not great. It's not one of my favorites.
It's a downgrade.
Yeah, and the Dark Knight variation of the same suit looks better. The whole thing is darker with a gold belt, but we're not ranking that. Just because I didn't feel it was different enough to justify it. I'm gonna say Hammers.
Yeah, Hammers.
Alright, next up is the Extreme Weather suit from the Cold Cold Heart DLC. It's pretty neat.
It looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, this looks like if Batman made a Hulkbuster.
This looks like if Bane, like, became the Batman out of respect for his death or something.
Yeah, I could see it. And I like the orange highlights that actually glow when you use, like, the heat ability in it. I'm gonna say it's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, next up is the Arkham Knight suit, which, I'm gonna be honest, it feels like a downgrade in comparison to the Origins and City suits. I feel like it's too complicated, even though that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the environment and, like, the unnecessary amount of, like, shine in a city. So yeah, I'll give you that. It's a great suit, but
yeah, the top half is super armored up and has all these moving parts, but the pants are just pants.
Yeah, but then you get down to the legs, and that kind of solves that issue.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Hammers.
Hammers, all right.
All right, next up is the suit that made me very, very mad when I unlocked it. The 240% bat suit. It's just the Arkham Knight suit. It's got a gold logo.
I mean, it looks cool, but...
again, appearance, but I got so mad when I got 240% completion and all I got was a gold logo. That should be a t-shirt somewhere. I got 240% in Arkham Knight and all I got was a lousy logo. I'm gonna say bat nipples.
You gonna put them in nipples? You know what? Just because it was your struggle, I'll put them in nipples too.
Thank you. Next up is the Nightmare Batman from the end of the game. This looks terrifying. It's supposed to look terrifying. It accomplishes
This
that.
looks like if I grabbed the Batman design and I put it in the Goofy machine.
Yeah, that looks like what you would come up with if you were to create Batman.
Yep.
Do I like it enough to put it in Vengeance is the thing.
I'd say Vengeance.
Okay. Next up, just for funsies and for the sake of being thorough, the Arkham Knight Batman Beyond skin. Again, I feel like this is just making it complicated just for the sake of it.
I just feel like the head is like a little out of place, just like the white in the head when everything else is supposed to be like a grayish black.
I can be fine with it if I look at it through the lens of, oh, this is like a prototype in the Arkham universe. It's not the real Batman Beyond suit, but I'm not completely sold on it.
Yeah, because it's like, it has all this stuff on there, and it's like, how do you get from this to something like completely sleek and black all over? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hammers or nipples?
Hammers.
Alright. Next
Not
up...
offensive.
And next up is from the upcoming Suicide Squad game. There aren't any good pictures of this, but it's basically the Arkham Knight suit, but a little simplified. And you can't really see it in this lighting, but it does have like the gold trim around the logo, which I can appreciate.
I feel like this solves the issue that you and I were kind of complaining about before, so I put it up a notch.
Yeah, it's the Arkham Knight suit, but streamlined. He is Batman.
He is Batman.
Alright, next up is the Injustice games. I liked this when it came out because I was a dumb preteen, but not big on it, honestly. I like the logo, I like the belt. The way the cowl wraps around his face is weird.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But and like the arm spikes.
Yeah, again, what I've been saying about the Arkham Knight suit, it just feels way too complicated for realism, I guess.
It's not complicated for me. It's more like this feels a little too lethal and edgy for Batman.
Yeah, even though his entire struggle in that game was not wanting to kill people. That makes me imagine this Batman, but in the Pete Holmes college humor videos. Alright, I'm thinking nipples.
Nipples? Alright, yeah, nipples.
Alright, next up is... This one's a little better to me. It's the Insurgency suit from the same game. It's a little less complicated.
It's a major improvement for me.
Oh, yeah. It is a tad weird how the cowl looks like latex, but the rest is armored, but I don't really care about that. What do you think, hammers?
Yeah, hammers.
Alright, next up is the Injustice 2 suit. I'm just including the suit he wears in the actual story, because if we were ranking every possible combination, we'd be here for weeks. But anyway, Injustice 2, this is a weird one to me. The cowl's better.
The shoulder plates feel a little extra.
Yeah, again, he's got all this armor on his chest and shoulders and legs, but his arms are pretty simple. That I don't get that.
I guess it's for the sake of speed, but then, like, why do you have the shoulder pads then?
Yeah, why do you have the armor everywhere else except your arms? What is it? Suns out, guns out in Gotham City?
Suns out, guns out.
I'm thinking bat nipples.
Nipples? Yeah, I'll agree with nipples.
It is a travesty we didn't get any nipple suits in Injustice 2.
Yeah.
Alright. Next up, we got the Batman Telltale series. This is the first one from Season 1. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, you know what? It's a bat suit that you just can't go wrong with.
Yeah, it looks like if they took the Arkham Origins suit and fixed all the issues I had with it. I'm thinking he's Batman.
He's Batman, yeah.
Alright, next up are a couple suits he wears in the last episode of the first season. First up is just bat suit, basic bat suit. I can only assume this is what he wore when he started out. And,
Yeah, no, it's another basic bat suit you can't go wrong
yeah,
with.
and I'd say Hammer's just on the base that it doesn't really do anything interesting, but on the other hand, that is the point.
Yeah.
It is a basic stripped down bat suit, but Hammer's it is.
Sure.
Alright, next up is the, what they call it? The Resilient suit. And it lives up to its name.
Yeah, no, that is indeed an armored suit. And it actually looks kind of mobile, despite supposedly being armored.
Yeah, and you can even see the gap in like the bicep armor and the actual suit. So I could buy that he can actually move around in it.
Yeah, no, I can see that too.
I'm thinking he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Alright, next up is the Season 2 suit, which I would say feels like a happy medium between the Resilient suit and the basic Season 1 suit.
I can see that. It's a good I am Batman choice, personally.
And it feels like this may have inspired the Pattinson suit in some ways. Like, you can see the ab armor has like the same pattern to it in the shape of the cowl. Maybe it's just me, though.
No, you're good, you're good.
I'd say he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Boy, this tier list is filling up real fast and we're not even done yet. We're nowhere near done. Alright. Hey, Anno, do you like Fortnite?
No.
Aw. Anyway, Fortnite had some Batman skins. This is basically like his survivor gear.
So Batman without a budget.
Basically. And with that intent, I feel like it's pretty decent.
Yeah, no, it's a good suit.
Got some Zero Year vibes to it, which I love Zero Year, so you know.
This is the more believable Batman Wasteland suit.
Yeah. Like, if they had this design instead of the actual Nightmare Batman, I would have bought that a whole lot more. What are you thinking? I'm Batman?
I'm Batman, yeah.
Now, I thought of including just the base Fortnite skin, but it's literally just the new 52 suit. There's no point to it. Alright, next up is the 0 Point Batman, which is Armored Batman. I don't like this one as much.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I was joking about the Dark Knight looking like he was wearing SWAT gear, but this really looks like it's just SWAT gear with a Batman logo slapped on it.
This looks like they tried to combine SWAT gear and, like, knight armor from some D&D game.
Yeah, why does he have spikes on his shoulders? What purpose does that
he's
serve?
He's trying to kill someone, I guess.
And this is Fortnite, so I guess. I don't want to put it in nipples, but on the other hand, I don't want to give it any more credit.
You won't put it in dents?
Yeah, and I don't hate it that much, but nowhere else feels fitting. It's
alright,
dense.
nipples. Oh, dents, alright.
I already put it in, Anno. Next up is...
No. I thought you were going for it to be in nipples. That's what I was...
Alright, I'll put it in nipples.
No, you don't have to.
Anno, please!
Hear me out!
Okay. I'm listening.
No, I mean, like, hear me out next time whenever I'm trying to say stuff like that.
Okay, it's staying in nipples.
Alrighty.
Next up is Lego Batman. This is just Michael Keaton, but in Lego form.
Yeah, no, there's honestly nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it in Vengeance. It's not that amazing, but he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Next up is the Lego Movie 2 Batman, which I haven't seen, but apparently this is like some kind of wasteland suit.
Yeah, it is. I've seen that movie. Yeah.
In any other context, I feel like I'd rip it apart for the tires on the shoulders, but it's Lego. It's supposed to be dumb and goofy.
Yeah, no, I personally, as a Lego, I like it.
Yeah. I'll let you decide where to put this one. I have no strong feelings about it.
Hammers.
Hammers.
I'm not going to give it too much credit.
Alright, next up is Justice League Cosmic Chaos. This is adorable, honestly. He's so cute!
Yeah, look at him. Look at the little Boy Scout.
He looks like a kid trying to dress up like his dad, who's Batman.
Indeed.
He's being taken out to his first Halloween and he wanted to be Batman. I'm tempted to put this in I'm Vengeance just because it's adorable.
Adorable Vengeance.
Alright. Next up is, I genuinely forget what the name of this was, but it's like an unauthorized unlockable character from some Chinese exclusive mobile game. Again, this feels overcomplicated for no reason. Like, what do all those straps on his legs do? They're just sitting there. And he's got and he's got like the corset on his torso again for no reason. What, is that holding his cape on?
I think it's supposed to like go. I think it's like a full suit where it also like contacts with the belt, so it's all like one piece.
Oh, I just noticed like the clasps on his shoulder are also bat shaped. Did he want people to not forget that he's Batman?
No, he didn't want people. He wanted people to forget about Tiananmen Square.
Alright, I'll give it credit on this one. I like the blue on the inside of the cape.
Honestly, for as overcomplicated as it is, I like it.
Alright, hammers.
Hammers.
Alright, next up is from the DC Legends mobile game, which, you know how I've been ragging on overcomplicated Batman designs? We got a lot of them. This is just the base Batman, and this is just boring.
Just a basic Batman suit, but they tried to put like details into it, and it just makes it look more, uninspired.
Yeah, and it's my understanding that for whatever reason they couldn't get the rights to the actual characters or how they look in the comics, so they had to make their own quote-unquote original designs, and this just feels uninspired even though it's supposed to be original.
Yep.
I'm gonna say bat nipples.
Nipples.
Alright, so this next one is the ultimate form of the one we just reviewed. I feel like this is even worse.
I personally think it's better.
Now, the dark chest armor with the light bat logo, it's interesting. I'm not big on this one, and I put it right next to the other one in bat nipples, honestly.
That's fair. That's fair.
Alright, next up is Batman Beyond from that game. This is just boring.
This feels like what they would try to do in Arkham Knight.
Yeah, and it just looks boring without the details that made the suit stand out. Like, the logo isn't fully red, he doesn't have a belt whatsoever, no mouth. And it's just boring.
Doesn't have like that black sleek shine to him that made him so cool and appealing.
Yeah, and do we want to put this in Are You Dense or just bat nipples?
Dense works.
He is dense. Alright, this next one is basically an ultimate form of the Batman vs. Superman armor, because that was also in the game, because of course it was. It's trying way too hard. Way too hard.
So try hard.
I feel like this is also dense.
It's dense. It just looks like some guy with a bat motif who wanted to be like the super armored up like futuristic knight.
Yet they put in effort, I will give it that. Now next one is basically like an upgraded form of the typical like blue spandex Batman. Got some Zero Year vibes. I would say this is the best one out of all the DC Legends looks.
That's yeah. I mean, I guess.
Just by virtue of being better than the rest, I'm inclined to say hammers.
Hammers, sure. That works.
Alright, so are you playing video games while we're reviewing these?
No, just going through a few SFX.
Oh, okay. Have you played DC Universe Online?
Yes, I have.
Alright, so this may be nostalgia talking, but this is the outfit he wears in that opening cutscene, which I watched probably over 100 times throughout my life.
Same, to be honest.
And this looks like a future Knight look, and for this, I feel like it actually works.
It does, yeah.
I'd knock it for not having any color or whatever, but it's all dirty and dusty. I feel like it works.
Yeah, like, and considering the world is, like, full of constant combat, because,
Yeah. Like, he was just buried alive in this suit, so it's not gonna look pristine. I'm thinking he's Batman.
He is indeed Batman.
Alright, next up is... Turns out he survived that cutscene. Now, I couldn't get a good enough picture of this, but he lost an arm, now he's got a robot arm for combat. He's only got one eye, half his face is burnt.
I think it looks cool.
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the shoulders are a little extra, but
And given the context that he's only in, like we said, it's constant fighting. I feel like it works since he's going to town on robots. He's not holding back.
that's fair.
What do you think? Is he Vengeance or is he Batman?
He's vengeance. He definitely looks like he's going to have some vengeance.
You know what? I can respect it. Alright, last but not least for the video games, we have Gotham Knights Batman.
Got some nice.
I like this one.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's got the rebirth look with the yellow logo. It's clearly armored without going overboard. I can buy that he can actually do combat and cool flips and whatnot.
Honestly, I love the suit. This is an easy I am vengeance for me.
Alright, I can live with that. Alright, now, we're done with everything else. Now we're going to dive into the comics. You probably already know this, but I'm going to say, for our viewers, this is where stuff starts getting weird.
Starts getting goofy.
Yeah, first up is the first appearance Batman. I gotta say, this one has a lot of charm to it, I feel. I've always liked the slightly slanted ears. I've always loved the purple gloves. I don't know why. I just feel this has a lot of charm to it.
He looks like an actual rat with wings, which is what bats are, I guess.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm Batman?
Yeah, I am Batman.
You sounded very hesitant with that.
It's because I am.
Right.
But I also don't want to offend you.
Yeah, you better not. Anyway, this is where we start getting weird. Zebra Batman.
So, is this like African Batman?
It's my understanding that I haven't read this because it's an old comic from the 40s, so why would I? Basically, he fights someone called the Zebra Man, and Zebra Man gives him a portion of his powers by accident, and it turns him into Zebra Batman. Don't question it. Comics were weird back then. This is where it starts getting hard to rank, because, yeah, it's intentionally stupid, but I don't want to rank it that high, because it's still stupid.
People used to think this stuff was cool. It wasn't supposed to be stupid, it was supposed to be cool.
I wouldn't say cool, it was disposable entertainment to get your kid to shut up for 5 minutes. This is tough. Because I don't want to give it any credit by putting it in I'm Batman or Hammers, but...
Put it in nipples.
Okay.
This is a Batman kink suit.
We're getting there, Anna. We're getting there.
I think we've already been there. It's just
We're getting there, trust me. Next up, in a similar vein, Rainbow Batman. You know what?
The LGBT man.
You know what? Pride Month is in a few days. Good on him for showing his support.
Yep. Put him in on Batman.
You sure I'm Batman?
If we don't, we're gonna get torched and burned, so...
Fair
Cut that
point.
out. Cut that out.
You know I'm gonna forget in post. Alright, next up. Remember how you were making all those pedo jokes before we started recording? This one does not help matters as soon as I can find it in the sea of suits. Okay. I really don't want to dignify this one by defending it. Jungle Batman and Jungle Robin. I feel like I'm going to have the FBI called on me just by looking at this. Robin, why are you smiling? If I were Robin, I would be hating life right now.
Gee willikers, Batman gave me a good surprise behind the dumpster at Arby's.
Why does Robin only get a Speedo, but Batman gets a full toga?
Well, gee, I never really thought of it that way. Batman,
He's dense, he's dense. I'm not gonna dignify this with any kind of defense. He is dense.
Well, he is a caveman.
No, he's not. He's just in the jungle. There's a difference. This is modern day Batman, just in the jungle.
He went all ooga booga on my pussy, Batman.
I hate you. Anyway, next up is the Batman of Zur-En-Arr. This is basically a planet where everyone has Superman powers, and this guy was just watching the news from Earth somehow and decided to be Batman on his planet.
This looks so it's like old school comics trying to be like what they think dark and edgy is, and then they made it into this design.
And I don't want to say. I feel like they knew this was gonna look goofy, so they leaned into it. Like this is what would happen if Superman tried to be Batman, kinda. I don't hate it. It's
Do you want to
fine.
go with Hammer?
Yeah, and it's fine. Silver Age goofiness. This was actually brought back in modern comics, where it was a repressed alternate personality. This just takes the fun out of it, honestly. And the art's
It looks
good.
even goofier, but in a bad way. Like the art is good and all,
Like,
but
he's supposed to be deranged and unhinged and going off the walls. So, I mean, it's supposed to be goofy in a screwed up kind of way.
I suppose so.
And what do you think? Where do you want to put this?
I'll just keep it in the same spot because I probably would have put it lower.
Alright, so hammers.
Hammers.
Next up is, for simplicity, I'm going to call it the Neil Adams suit from the 70s. This is a solid Batman.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Yeah, I like the longer ears. He looks muscular in a martial artist kind of way without going overboard.
And just the shading and the art on this is just
Oh yeah, he's vengeance.
he is vengeance.
Alright, so next up, Frank Miller Batman. But the blue suit. I feel like it's...
I didn't know we were doing toys too.
This appeared briefly in the comic, I just couldn't get a full picture of it in the comic.
Alright.
Now, in context, I feel like it's supposed to look goofy and outdated, but it doesn't look great in Frank Miller's art style in this physique.
This looks like another thick man.
Yeah, and the extra belt on his thigh is just weird.
Yeah, it's really it's not even like Silver Age goofy, it's just plain goofy.
Yeah, and hammers or nipples?
Nipples. You got some pretty chonky nipples.
People are gonna give us so much flack for criticizing Frank Miller. Anyway, this is the suit everyone knows from The Dark Knight Returns. This one works a whole lot better in context.
It does indeed.
Now, I feel like I'd actually be scared if this dude was chasing after me in an alley.
Yeah, no.
Is he vengeance or is he Batman?
I'd be a little concerned why he's traveling with an underage girl, but
And why she isn't wearing pants, but yeah.
yeah.
What do you think?
He's scary just because of that.
Is he vengeance?
He's vengeance, but for all the wrong reasons.
You know what? Given Frank Miller's later work, yeah. Alright, next up is the armored suit. This is a classic, honestly.
It's a good chonky Batman. It reminds me of that. It reminds me of the Russian Batman.
We're getting there, but yeah, now that you mention it, I can see it. Is he also vengeance?
Yeah, he's vengeance,
Alright.
but in a good way.
In a good way this time. Alright, next up is Batman Year One. Now, it's supposed to be a basic bat suit. It's supposed to be plain. The art makes it look really good, but there's just nothing interesting about it. Which, I mean, that was the intention, but still.
Hammers.
Yeah, hammers. Alright, next up is The Long Halloween. And the art does this a lot of favors. Tim Sale made this look epic.
He does. He does. He does.
What do you think? Vengeance?
Vengeance, yeah.
Alright, vengeance. Next up is Green Lantern Batman. This is from an Elseworlds where basically on his first night he just royally screwed up and instead of a bat flying through the window, a Green Lantern ring fell through the window.
It looks so... you can't even give it the Silver Age excuse. This just looks goofy.
Yeah. And it doesn't look bad, though.
I think it looks awful.
Okay, nipples.
Nipples.
Alright, I didn't want to put it in Are You Dense? That felt a little too harsh because the art makes it look good.
Oh yeah, the
Alright.
shading and the design, but still nipples.
Next up is Batman speeding bullets, which is literally Superman if he became Batman.
I mean, what else is there? Like, the suit isn't exactly original or anything.
And yeah, and it's Superman in Batman cosplay, literally. And hammers?
Yeah, hammers.
Because it's not like offensively goofy or anything. All right, Anno, how do you feel about '90s edge?
It can either be the greatest thing ever, or you can laugh at it and still have a good time.
I'm glad you said that,
because positive opinion.
Because I've always had a soft spot for this suit. This is Azrael as Batman in a Nightfall story. This is '90s as all hell, but it's got charm to it.
It looks like if Batman were like a sorcerer or a wizard.
Yeah, and this was basically raised in a cult.
Yeah, so it works even better then.
Yeah, this entire story was, hey, you think you want Batman to be edgy and kill people? Here's why you don't want that. So, like, they knew what they were trying to do.
I don't know, it kind of makes me want it even more.
I would cosplay this, honestly. I would put it in I'm Vengeance.
I am Vengeance, indeed.
Alright, he modified the suit quite a few times throughout his quote-unquote career. This is the variant of the suit from Knight's End, which he started making a whole lot more Azrael-like. And I prefer the previous iteration. This isn't bad, but like you can't see it, but the cape is now like big mechanical wings. And they're supposed to be like
a Soundwave became an alternator, or not an alternator. What are they called?
Transmetal?
No, not transmetal. It's where they have like those human Pretender.
Pretender.
It looks like a Soundwave or a Pretender.
Yeah, and I want to say Hammers of Justice. Wait.
Hammers.
Or I'm Batman, just because it's not as good as the original. It's a step down.
That's up to you on that one.
I'll put it in I'm Batman. But what is definitely hammer worthy, because I don't like this as much, it's the same suit, but in Azrael colors. It's red.
It looks cooler to me, but it's not Batman.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's fitting for Azrael, because it is Azrael as Batman, but it just doesn't work as well for Batman.
Yeah, hammers.
Alright. And this actually appeared in the White Knight universe, where it's basically the same suit as Nightfall, but like modernized. Again, I can barely find any good pictures in the comic.
That looks so badass.
Yeah. I think he's Vengeance.
He is indeed Vengeance.
You know what? If this guy told me he was Vengeance, I would believe him.
I indeed would.
Alright. Next was right after Bruce came back, after his back was broken by Bane. This is called the Troika suit, because he was in Russia at the time. You can tell the movies were coming out at the time.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not going to knock it for that, but it's an all-black bat suit. Other than that, it's pretty basic. I don't like the fins on the legs, but other than that...
I love the fins on the legs. I think it adds a bit more to it.
Alright, is he Batman or is he Vengeance?
Oh, he's just Batman.
Next up is Batman Year 100. Can you believe he's been doing this for 100 years?
Partially. They have some pretty weird plots for it.
Yeah, it's unclear if this is actually Bruce or not, or some random dude. They never address it. I like that it looks very homemade. You can see like the boxer shorts, the completely ordinary belt. You can look... This is Batman if he just made his suit out of spare clothes he had in the closet.
Once again, I will repeat this. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Yeah. And again, you can't see it in the picture, but he's also got like fake teeth to look more demonic, which I like.
Help me find my lost puppy.
Alright, he's Batman. Which I'm glad, because I genuinely love this story. It's very underrated. Next up, this one's iconic.
Wait a second. You're going off the story.
I know. You
know, it's your show. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, this is my video on my channel. Shut up. Anyway,
pulls out the shotgun and threatens you.
Anyway, the Batman Hush suit. This is iconic, and it is pretty basic, but Jim Lee's artwork is doing this a lot of favors.
Oh yeah, it's masterclass.
He's Vengeance.
Vengeance.
All right, next up is the Lee Bermejo suit. He's got a very gritty and realistic style, and I dig it. I like the chainmail. I feel like that's pretty novel in place of like usual armor plating.
It feels very pragmatic.
Yeah. And he usually writes and portrays Batman as like older and just sick of it all, so I feel like it works.
It does. It does.
What do you think? Batman or Vengeance?
Vengeance.
Next up is Gotham by Gaslight Batman, so we got Victorian era Batman. For what it is, I really like it.
Gaslight Batman.
He gaslights all of his targets.
What are you talking about? You're insane, Joker.
He gaslights Jack the Ripper. But yeah, for what it is, I dig it. I could buy that this is what Batman would look like in the 1800s. Instead of batarangs, he's got his throwing knives on his side there.
He looks like he's about to go up and shank you at a fish and chip shack.
I won't go so far as to say he's Vengeance, but I feel like he's Batman.
Unfortunately, he's a British Batman. Fuck British people. I mean, what?
We gotta dump the tea!
Dump the fucking tea.
I'm making a new tier called Dump the Tea now. I feel like he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. He's a little fat, but...
He's not fat, he's big boned. Now, this version of Batman was adapted into a MOBA called Infinite Crisis. This isn't really...
What the fuck is that?
This isn't really Victorian so much as it is steampunk.
It's steampunk Batman, but even then, that doesn't work.
I like the ideas, not so much the execution. Like Tesla coil Batman, I feel like that could work.
Okay, so actually no. We can talk about this another time. Just put it in somewhere.
Would it satisfy you if I put it in nipples?
Nipples, yeah. His nipples are electric.
And if that glowing bat signal is any indication. Next up, DC loves their vampire Batman. This is terrifying, straight up.
Once again, another thing I'd probably come up with.
Yeah, it set out to be terrifying. That's a vampire Batman. It is terrifying. I feel like he's Vengeance.
Yeah, he's Vengeance. If he told me he was Vengeance, I'd believe him.
Yeah, and this has been adapted. Again, Infinite Crisis, I just mentioned this, also had a vampire Batman and had quite a few designs for him. This was the official render they came up with later to better fit the character model. Again, terrifying.
Yeah, no, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's Vengeance, straight up.
Yeah, that is straight up Vengeance.
Now, not so much as Vengeance is the actual character model. It's not bad. It just doesn't live up to that artwork, I'd say.
It looks less like Batman and more like Gargoyle Man. Which is still cool, mind you, but...
I'll let you decide on this one. Oh, I just noticed he's got, like, veins on his body. That's kind of neat.
We'll put it in Hammers.
Alright. Now, next one is... This is, like, the beta artwork. This is, like, the first concept art for this Batman. This looks cool. I like it.
It does.
The in-game character model should have just been this.
Honestly, yeah.
I think it's another Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Hmm?
Our audience can definitely tell we're all about that 90s edge.
Yeah. Though this game came out in 2014, so...
Well, to be fair, the early 2000s were,
Sir, 2014 is not early 2000s. Anyway, Anno, did you know Batman once punched the Predator?
Yes, I did. I love those comics.
Yeah, and Predator armor. Again, I like the concept. He's very chunky.
Yeah, he's a chunky boy.
Again, I'm...
Wherever.
Hammers?
Hammers, yeah.
Alright, I can live with hammers. Alright, next up is Kingdom Come Batman. He's ancient. He needs armor just to be Batman.
This is
I like it.
Kingdom come. This is my kingdom.
And I feel like Alex Ross's artwork just makes this epic.
It's impractical as all hell, but it works.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he's Batman.
He's Batman.
I'm Batman. Alright, next up, again, Alex Ross. This is from the Justice comic, which I haven't read, so I know nothing about it. Again, a future Batman. I like that this really leans into the whole Dark Knight thing, because he looks like a Dark Knight.
Yeah, I know.
I like the red. He looks like if the 60s Batmobile was a dude.
That's so true.
What do you think? Is he Batman or is he Vengeance?
That's a hard decision.
I don't know if I love it enough to say he's Vengeance, even though it is really cool.
Yeah, Batman.
Alright, next up is Batman of the year 1 million. It's cool, but for Batman in the year 1 million, it feels like Batman Beyond, but with a few things added. What do you think?
I'd put this in nipples just because of how underwhelming it is.
Yeah, and Batman of the year 1 million, you just expect more.
Yeah.
You mentioned Comrade Batman, Russian Batman.
Da, Isprakaishny.
And he looks like Russian Batman. I don't know what else we can say about this.
I'm personally very biased because, yeah.
And it's a unique suit. It gets the point across. Whatever you're feeling, honestly.
I'm feeling vengeance. It just looks cool.
Can you say I'm vengeance in Russian just to get the point across?
Yes! Hold on, I gotta prepare for that.
I'm waiting in anticipation.
Я это missed.
That was amazing. That was worth the wait. Alright, anyway. You know how Batman is the embodiment of fear and all that jazz.
Yes?
We have a couple versions of Batman being in the Sinestro Corps, having a Sinestro Corps ring. It's like if he's
This
chosen.
is definitely a lot better than the Green Lantern suit.
Yeah, I dig it. I like the blue. Big blue bat logo. I like the blue bracers. I'm thinking he's Batman.
He is indeed Batman.
Alright, next one is like full-on Sinestro Corps Batman. I actually prefer this one just because it's got more of the Sinestro Corps motif to it. It's got the yellow eyes.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It just looks like a more like beastly version of the Fear Batman.
Yeah. And beastly probably because this artist just loves to draw Batman being jacked. Not a bad thing, though. What do you think?
Not at all.
Vengeance?
Vengeance, yeah, we'll give him the vengeance.
So, next up, we have the Suit of Sorrow as Batman. Which is basically like if Batman borrowed Azrael's magic armor. Where is it? Ah, there it is. And
you're lacking some organization there, aren't you?
I know. And it's a one-off suit. And it's okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's not spectacular,
Yeah.
original or anything,
And
but it's alright.
I like the chainmail motif, but it's so sliced off at that point. Alright, next
I
up,
like you mentioned the detail.
yeah, the art's good. I do love the art. Next up, we have a couple Batman that aren't Bruce. We have Dick Grayson Batman.
Just looks like normal Batman.
Yeah. And Hammer's purely because it doesn't really do anything new or unique.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, we have Jason Todd Batman. Because everyone was fighting to be Batman, including Jason. And this looks like how you'd expect an edgy anti-hero gun-toting Batman to look.
You know, it looks cool.
Yeah, I like that the ears are slightly changed to look more like devil horns. I like the glowing red eyes.
This looks like a genuine Bat Demon, man.
And yeah, does he look like Vengeance?
He is indeed Vengeance.
Alright, so, gonna put that in Vengeance. This one, it only exists for one panel, so there's not a whole grand story. It's basically, hey, Tim Drake, imagine if you were Batman, and this is what he imagines. This is just the Batman Beyond suit with a cape.
Yeah, and that's not even a bad thing.
And yeah,
Art style's great, suit's great. I put it in Batman.
this is from my favorite comic run of all time, so I'm not gonna let that influence me. He is Batman. It only lasts for one panel, though, so there's not much to say about it. How do you feel about Damian Wayne?
Okay, so I know you'd probably kill me over my opinion, but personally, I think he's cool. I like him.
Get out. He's got a couple different bat suits. This is the one most commonly associated with him, like Batman number 666. He basically sold his soul to the devil or something for bat powers. I see the Al Ghul influence in it.
No, it looks like, it just kind of looks like a cultist wizardly Batman. It's kind of like the Azrael one, but it's nicer and simplistic. It's sleeker.
It gets the point across. This looks like if Damian didn't grow out of his murdery tendencies is what he'd wear. Is he Batman or is he Vengeance?
He's just Batman.
Alright, next up is from the Deceased story. And this is Damian as like a 13-year-old and he's Batman. I like it just for the sheer absurdity of our 13-year-old Batman.
So to me, it looks nice just because of the frame and the coloration. The flame and the God, I can't speak. Sorry, I'm having a.
You'll get there eventually, buddy. I believe in you.
The frame and the coloration and just the design is great. I like it.
All right. I'd say he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. He's a little Batman.
Yeah. He's literally a kid dressing up as his dad, and that's adorable, honestly.
Honestly, even though he's a little psychopath.
He was pretty decent in this comic. Alright, next up. You're gonna have to check my biases because this is from my genuine favorite comic of all time. Blackest Night Batman.
Is that a Damian Batman?
This is Bruce. This is Bruce's corpse.
Oh, but I love that comic shit.
Black Lantern Batman. This looks awesome.
It does. It does.
You know what? If he told me that he was Vengeance, I'd believe him.
I would too.
I swear we're not letting our biases get in the way. Alright, we got...
Yeah, definitely not.
Alright, we got Black Lantern Batman, now we got White Lantern Batman. I like this for the novelty of a white batsuit.
The albino Batman.
Yeah, and... It's just neat to see. You don't see it very much, but an all-white batsuit, it's just kind of neat.
It's also got like this. It's got this like commanding divine presence to it that I really like.
He looks like he's about to lower himself from the sky and tell you to fear not.
Or to fear me.
Fear me. I'd say he's Batman.
God. Yeah, he's Batman.
All right. This one's a little rough for me. I'm gonna be honest. Are you familiar with Batman Incorporated?
I think so.
Alright, so this is basically Bruce Wayne making Batman a worldwide thing. Okay. This looks like a standard Batman, but there is one thing that always kills it for me.
The shoulders?
No, his giant metal codpiece.
The cod? Oh, that's...
That kills it for me.
Yeah, it kind of makes it look like a BDSM set.
Yeah, Did no one tell Batman to wear that on the inside of his pants? I know that's been a joke about his trunk for decades, but why does he have a codpiece? Why does he have that?
Well, you know, there are thugs out there, and, you know, they fight dirty, so it's best to tell them that it's probably going to be a bad idea off the bat, rather than just doing it and being afraid.
Off the bat? I want to put this in Are You Dense just because of the codpiece. I hate the codpiece.
Alright, we can put it in Are You Dense?
That codpiece is dense. I can tell just by looking at it.
I bet you want to touch it.
No.
I bet you want to punch it.
Yes, but I know that's a bad idea. It makes me angry and want to punch things. Alright, next up, another Batman that's not Bruce. Flashpoint Batman.
Flashpoint Batman. Oh, that's his dad, right?
Yeah, Thomas Wayne. It looks cool.
Yeah, no, it looks cool.
And for an edgier Batman, gets the point across.
Indeed it does.
Is he Vengeance, though, is the thing.
I can't get story biases in the way, so I'm just going to put him in Batman.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I don't like Flashpoint that much as a story.
That's fair.
One of those things where I liked it as a dumb 12-year-old, but now that I'm older, I see the flaws a lot more. Anyway, New 52 Batman. I like this one.
52?
52! I killed 52 men! Anyway, I like it.
Yeah, no, the art is on point, the suit is on point, everything is just great about it.
Yeah, it takes the classic look of Batman while making it modern. And it's clearly armored, but it's not over-exaggerated.
Yeah.
I would say he's Batman.
Yeah, he is indeed Batman.
Alright, next up, I'm excited to talk about this one. Oh, wait, first, don't want to go out of order. We have the I don't know what to call this, like a survival suit from Zero Year. He's got short sleeves, he's got all the survival gear on over what's basically his new 52 suit anyway. He's got the purple gloves, which I consider a plus.
No, I mean, I like it.
It's good.
It's nothing to write home about personally, but I understand the significance for you.
It's not great, it's just good.
Yeah.
Next up, this one, genuinely, my favorite bat suit ever is the proper Zero Year suit. I like the ears, I like the colors, I like the ribbing on his sides, arms, and legs. Purple gloves, they're always a win. And this is supposed to be his first proper bat suit in this continuity, so, you know, it's a little more basic than the new 52 suit.
Put this in wherever, to be honest.
This is going in Vengeance. Again, like I said, my favorite bat suit ever is going at the top of my Vengeance. Alright, next up. This one, a lot of people like this one. I can take it or leave it. The Hellbat suit. He uses this to punch Darkseid in the face.
I personally think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I would love to use this as a skin in the next Doom game. I feel like this would be right at home in like Doom Eternal.
That's for sure.
I'd say he's Vengeance.
He is indeed Vengeance.
Alright, next up. Another Batman that isn't Bruce. Jim Gordon as Batman, because Bruce was totally dead for real, we swear this time, guys. It's just his basic Batsuit.
Wait, Jim Gordon is the
Commissioner
the one Robin who is like, oh, Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon.
Oh.
He had to shave his mustache for this. You better respect the commitment.
No, I respect the commitment.
I like the colors. It's pretty bare bones, except for the holster on his thigh. I like the yellow logo with the black inlet. He's got his little captain thing on the side.
It feels like a less angsty take on the Batman Beyond suit.
Yeah. You know, I could honestly see this as like a Dick Grayson as Batman suit.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
This feels like a medium between Batman and Nightwing. What do you think? Vengeance or Batman?
Just Batman.
Alright. So next up, this one, I remember when this came out. This was pretty controversial. This is Commissioner Gordon's mech suit, which was like sponsored by the GCPD.
What the fuck? I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like
it's unexpected.
Yeah, this looks like something out of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, this is literally like sponsored by the GCPD. So I mean, it's supposed to be gaudy to a certain extent. Even Gordon hates it. Only thing I really dislike about it is the ears.
It looks like if Buzz Lightyear were Batman.
I could totally see that. Hammers or Batman?
We'll put it in hammers.
Giving you a bone to everyone who hated this suit when it came out. Alright, next up. I was just talking about how the Zero suit was my favorite. This is the very close second, the DC Rebirth suit. This is it's more spandex and cloth as opposed to the more armored aesthetic, so it's kind of a return to form. I love the black logo with the gold trim. I love the black belt with the gold trim. I love the purple on the inside. Again, purple Batman is always a win.
I'd put this in like easily I Am Vengeance.
Yeah. Bruce just came back from being totally dead for real, we swear this time, guys. And this is what he wore. I hate that this suit didn't last longer, honestly. Alright, next up. I can only describe this as Mobius chair Batman, because he was in the Mobius chair. Bat God.
Bat God.
I hate that they acknowledge Bat God in canon, but that's not affecting the suit. It looks like Tron Batman.
Yeah, Tron Batman.
And I don't even mean that as a negative, that's just how it looks.
I didn't even think that was supposed to be a negative.
What do you think? I mean, Hammers or Batman?
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, he sure is. Alright. For this next one, we're going to travel to Earth 2. Starting with the Earth 2 New 52. I like it. Instead of the trunks, he had this black strip going all the way down his chest and legs. Got like the knight-looking bracers, and he had holsters on his thighs to put his scrim sticks away.
Feels like another. It feels like a mix between like the unbelievable and the pragmatist Batman.
Yeah, it's sort of a mix between the two. Oh, I just noticed his knee pads have a little bat logo on them.
So,
He's committed. I'll give him that. He's Batman.
yeah.
Alright, next up is after this Batman died and actually stayed dead, another Thomas Wayne Batman. And Earth 2. I don't like this as much as the Flashpoint Batman, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I respect it, I just don't love it.
Want to put it in hammers?
Yeah, I can go with hammers. Alright, next up, because this universe had so many Batmans, they just kept dropping like flies, Dick Grayson is Batman.
I really like that suit.
Yeah, the mask is a little weird, I'll give it that, but the rest, it looks cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I like that there's a lot more gold on it than you'd expect from Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
For you at home, take a shot every time we say Batman. No, don't. I don't want to be responsible for murder. Alright.
I do.
Don't you murder people enough in your campaign?
No.
Alright, anyway. This is the last Earth 2 Batman, to my knowledge. This is Helena Wayne as Batman, so technically a Batwoman, but goes by Batman.
Wait, okay, that's a little confusing.
Yeah, it's all padded out and stuff, so it looks more like a Batman. To hide the fact that it's a Batwoman.
Oh, okay. Alright, gotcha.
I dig that she's wearing like a trench coat and collar over the suit. That makes it look a lot more unique.
No, yeah, I do like the look.
Yeah. The only thing I don't understand is like the mustache guard the cowl has. It's not even like a full face guard, it's just guarding like the mustache, I guess. I would say Batman.
Batman, yeah.
Alright, next up is another Batman Beyond. This is Batman Beyond 2.0. This looks a lot more demonic than the other one.
Yeah.
If I saw that in an alley flying towards me, I would pee myself, honestly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Is he Vengeance?
Yeah, he's the knight.
Yeah. Not as good as the original Batman Beyond,
Yeah,
but it's
not as
still
good.
good.
Still good.
Oh, this next one is gonna hurt. We're starting to delve into the weird ones. This is dense. I hate the Batman Who Laughs so much. I hate it.
I'll give that one to you.
Yeah, even the artist who designed this character wanted no part in it. He straight up just ripped off Judge Death from the Judge Dredd comics. That is how little effort he put in because even he hates this character. Okay, I'm done. He's dense. He's dense. Next are a couple of dark multiverse variants, which is basically What If gone bad. Next one is Hush if he became Batman.
So the bandages would have been cool if they didn't wrap it around his face, because that just ruins the look for me.
But at the same time, it is Hush, so like you expect that from him.
It's fair, I guess.
Maybe if there were more bandages, like around the legs and stomach, maybe.
I feel like that would overdo it, though.
Yeah, maybe. Hammers?
Hammers.
Oh boy, we're going back to Azrael. It's basically Nightfall if Bruce didn't take the cowl back and kick him out. So we have Saint Batman.
Saint Batman.
That is what he calls himself. I am not making this up. And he really leans in with his theme. He looks like an evil knight. But at the same time, if you looked at that, you wouldn't really get Batman from it, would you?
No, I wouldn't get... Well, I mean, I kind of could.
The logo and the ears are there.
And the claws and the silhouette.
I'll let you call it on this one.
I can't put him in Vengeance. I'll just put him in Batman.
Yeah, I don't want to give it too much credit. Alright, next up is Death Metal Batman. Start playing Death Metal. Right, this is the sequel to Dark Knight's Metal. Death Metal Batman. got a trench coat, a leather jacket with all these spikes, got a scythe.
Got chains.
On one hand, he's trying way too hard to look cool, but it does look cool.
Yeah. You're trying hard to look cool, but it just works.
The comic was not trying to hide this. It is trying to lean into that like 80s heavy metal, just cheese. And it does accomplish that. On one hand, he is trying way too hard, but on the other hand, he gets the point across perfectly.
Certainly.
Is he Batman?
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, this is where things start going off the rails a little bit. We got Caveman Batman. Basically, Batman was sent back in time with only his pants. Can't make this up. He somehow skinned a giant bat and made the cape and cowl with that.
It looks cool, but if they did, make him like have a bare chest and like, just the pants. If they leaned into that bat aesthetic a little more, like made the mask like have a top jaw and a bottom jaw over his face, it would look cooler.
And maybe if he didn't have pants and had like a furry loincloth or something.
Instead of the batarang, they would have saw the nutterang.
Oh, I just realized I'm basically just asking for Jungle Batman.
Yeah. You're asking for the pedo and speedo.
It's okay because there's no Robin here this time.
Oh, okay, that's good. This one went to rehab.
Hammers, I guess?
Hammers, yeah.
Alright, so we got Bruce Wayne traveling all through time. Next up is Pirate Batman. There were quite a few Pirate Batmans. I like this one.
Yeah, no, I like it.
And as Batman is a pirate, what else can we say about that?
Yar har fiddle-dee-dee.
And he is Batman.
Yep, he is Batman.
We got quite a few Pirate Batmans. This is the original from some Elseworld. I believe he's called Leatherwing.
Leatherwing.
I don't like this one as much.
I like his lower half and his cape. And that's about it.
Yeah, and it's basically just pirate gear with a cape and a bat cowl.
It looks like a standard like big bald pirate goon, but Batman.
Yeah, he's a standard pirate with a cowl. It's not. Do I want to put it in nipples? I don't know if it's that. I'll put it in nipples. And all the other tiers are getting pretty full. We should balance it out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, to be fair, we haven't been getting some really bad ones, though.
Yeah, again, like we said earlier, you have to screw up. You have to try and make a bad Batman. This is the last pirate Batman, also called Leatherwing. I feel like this is a happy medium between the other two. And it tries to be different.
Yeah, no, I can agree.
And I'd say he's Batman. Alright, next up. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Witch Hunter Batman. I don't like it. Granted, it's in the period of the Salem witch trials, but
It's still recharging.
God damn it! Alright, something on the other hand.
that hat makes him look pretty dumb. And it looks like he's
I'm into the whole witch hunter thing, but it's just
he's trying to have a bat logo, but it doesn't even look like a bat. It looks like a mustache. He's got mustache logos on it. Yeah, and yet he doesn't even have an actual mustache. Alright, this is nipple territory for me. Unless you have any objections to that.
I do not.
Alright, putting it in the nipples. Next up, Cowboy Batman. It's an improvement. He's got like a Lone Ranger vibe to him. Even his horse has bat logos on him. I like that the cowboy hat is actually pointed backwards to look like bat ears. What do you think, my good sir?
Alright, on to the next one.
Where do you think? Hammers?
Wait, did you not? Oh, I said hammers.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Ah.
All right, next up is a Square Enix take on Batman, which, you know, is already scary because Square Enix, it's like another take on Cowboy Batman. I don't like this. Again, it just has that issue of there's way too much going on.
See, I really like it. I feel like this would be better as like Nightwing, as like a Square Enix Nightwing.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking nipples, but I'm willing to bump it up to hammers.
Hammers.
Alright. Alright, and now that we're done with Bruce Wayne time travel shenanigans, we have Batman, or Darkseid Corrupted Batman.
Didn't we already do one of those way back?
Yes, but this is comics.
Ah, that's true.
This is trippy. And there's
The
not
head
much.
looks silly, but everything else looks very threatening.
Yeah, he's scary looking. The tentacles are weird. Like, you got the tentacles forming out of his cape. I don't hate it, it's just weird. You really wouldn't get Batman from this, would you?
No, I'd get Slenderman doing a cosplay.
Yeah, nipples?
Nipples.
Nipples. Alright, Anno. Have you ever wanted to see Batman if he was a Nazi? Because we got a couple Nazi Batmans.
That Nazi. Jesus Christ, them thighs.
I get what it's going for. It's trying to go for those pants they wore at the time that were just really baggy in the thigh area, but
Yeah.
it still looks weird.
It looks like he has literal thunder thighs.
That boy did not skip leg day.
He did not.
Alright, let's go with nipples.
Nipples, yeah. He did plenty of squats, and also the goggles just look fucking goofy. It's all
Yeah. We have another Nazi This is just Batman with a Nazi logo.
He's just Batman with a swastika.
Yeah, and he's a Nazi.
Middle school Batman.
He's a Nazi, so he's dense by default.
Yeah.
Alright, next one is, I believe this is from Multiverse, and this is Lex Luthor as Batman.
Okay, so is Lex Luthor African American or is he white?
He's white. Why?
So you know that Superman cartoon?
Yeah.
The one that was the one I grew up with, and because of like the shading and because of like his
yeah.
I always thought for the longest time because of like his lips, his head, and his like physiology and his skin. I thought he was African American. Like for the longest time, I thought Lex Luthor was African American.
And I think the skin tone was colored in such a way that he could be just about anything. But anyway.
Yeah.
That tangent aside, the suit doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, no, it just looks creepy. It looks like a pedo Batman.
And maybe if we saw him with a cowl, it would look better. And he's not dense, but he looks like he has nipples.
Yeah, it got some rock hard nipples.
Alright, so these are from DC Future State, which is like possible future, ooh. We know it's never gonna happen, though. This is older Bruce Wayne, and he's on the run. Is his Dark Knight detective look. And it's just...
I like the simple design.
And doesn't really have anything going for it, though, does it? It's just military Batman.
I'd argue that the lower body has probably looked the best it's ever has, especially the feet and the shoes.
Yeah. I will say, I do like that it has short sleeves. That is something of a novelty with Batman.
And just the armor plate. I like how practical it actually is.
Yeah, I like that the logo is clearly spray painted on.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? You convinced me. I will put it in hammers. Unless you can convince me to put it higher.
Well, I'll give you this part. So you know how you're talking about how you enjoy like patterns on the thighs?
Yeah.
And like how on strap details?
Yeah.
Look at the straps over the chest, and then look at that like dark coffin-shaped pads over his
Oh yeah, with the thigh patterns, it looks more like sewn into the pants rather than armored plating strapped on.
Yeah.
This looks like something Ben Affleck's Batman would wear.
Definitely.
You know, if he wore this in the nightmare sequence, he wouldn't get heat stroke, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Alright, you know what? He's Batman. Next
Yes.
one is Tim Fox, Lucius Fox's son that everyone forgot about until recently. He got 2 looks. First one, that's just basic Batman.
Yeah, no, it's
And
Batman.
and what else can you say about it? Hammers.
Yeah, hammers.
Next one I like a little more because it's more like unique to him. He's got that all black with gold. He's got a mouth plate.
Once again, it's just like that less edgy take of the Beyond Batman.
Yeah, it's a little more unique to him instead of just wearing one of Bruce's.
Yeah,
It's like, he's Batman.
he's Batman.
Alright, next up is the Earth 1 series, which is like a more realistic take on Batman. I'm just lumping all 3 suits together because they're all basically the same with minor differences. And looks like Batman in spandex.
Yeah, no, it's just Batman.
And if you wanted a Batman in the real world, yeah, I could buy it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Batman or Hammers?
Hammers, just because of the variation, designs look a little less good than the others.
Yeah, they don't really build upon one another beyond just different logo each time. Alright, this next one is from Doomsday Clock, which I have opinions on, but I'm not going to get into that. And pretty standard Batman, neat looking logo.
Yeah, just regular ass Batman, to be honest.
Hammers doesn't really do anything unique. 3 Jokers Batman. I hate this story with a passion, but you know what? That's a cool looking Batman.
Yeah.
It's classic comic Batman, but with some Keaton influence in there. I dig it. I'd say
you dig it?
he's Batman.
He is Batman.
Alright, next up is Gothtopia Batman.
Gothtopia.
Yeah, I haven't read this. Apparently people hate it, but I don't know. I didn't even know it was a full story. I assumed it was just a one-shot. And like a bonus comic I read. It's ending. It's having a hard time for some reason. Come on, computer, I believe in you. Oh, this one's having a hard time for some reason.
The sheer, like, screams and cries your computer would give after the hate comments of getting this anywhere near a high rating.
Yeah, and here's... Oh, it's finally loading. Here's the thing. I like the all-white look.
Yeah, no, I do too.
I like the chainmail on the arms and legs. I dig it. Though that being said, the whole premise is that apparently this is like a Gotham without crime, so why does he need that much armor?
I think he just, like, you know, wised up to the fact that, like, you know, after there was no crime in Gotham, he was like, oh, I probably should have had armor in the first place if I were fighting dangerous criminals.
Yeah, this is odd to point out, but I like that he doesn't have obvious eyeshadow under that cowl.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. He's Batman.
He's Batman.
I know people hate the story, but this has no bearing on the story itself, okay? Okay, anyway. Next up is...
Stop talking about the story before I slap you.
Okay, Shockwave. Alright, next up is White Knight Batman, milady. I couldn't find a less deranged looking Batman. This is a very... White Knight's aesthetic is hard to describe. It's kind of like a 60s beatnik overall universe. I like the collar. I like the cowl. The logo is interesting, but the thigh highs and the super short gloves just don't really mesh together.
He looks malformed.
Oh, and I just now noticed this. He has the spikes on his forearms without the gloves.
Yeah. He jammed them in?
Yeah. Those aren't even part of the costume. He just jabbed those into his arm. He's in pain.
Oh!
You know, I did like this until I started actually analyzing it. I'm going to say nipples.
Nipples, yeah.
Alright, next up is from Beyond the White Knight. This is in the future. It's like a prototype that he never finished.
This is such an improvement.
Yeah. I like... You know, Joker even points this out in the image. He got rid of the cowl, but the pointy bits on his like headpiece kind of look like the ears. And you know what? I like him with a white beard. It just looks cool.
I like him without the cowl. That's a novelty that I appreciate.
Yeah, I like the coat acting like his cape. You know what? I'm gonna say he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, next up is Batman the Detective. That is actually what they call it. I like Batman's with a coat, but this doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, no, this feels a little too heavy-handed. Like, he looks too chonky to pull it off.
Granted, it is like an older Batman, so he's got some weight. Here's my question. Why does he have a belt under the coat and another belt on the coat?
You just can't have enough utility tools.
I guess. What?
The ones on the inside of my Viagra pills.
Why does he have lenses and the goggles?
Because one is my prescription.
One's prescription. Okay, I can buy that. I'm gonna say nipples just because it feels like
nipples.
it's trying a whole lot of things and none of them are really landing. Next one is, I don't remember if this got a name, but it's like a Joker War Batman for like a futuristic look. I like the blue.
Yeah, no, the blue is nice.
Yeah, this is clearly like a daytime Batman. And he's got yellow eyes, which are neat.
This feels like if Mr. Freeze became Batman.
I could see it. I'd say he's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman.
Alright, next up we got another take on the White Lantern Batman. I don't like it as much as the other one.
It feels more knightly, which I appreciate,
Yeah.
but it also doesn't have that divine presence that the other one does.
Yeah, and looking at this one, you really wouldn't get he's a White Lantern from it, beyond the fact that he has a ring on.
Yeah. He just looks like a paladin.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hammers. It's not offensively bad.
It's good. It's just like, eh.
Yeah. Pros and cons, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, next up is Last Night on Earth Batman. This is basically like, they do that thing where, oh, he was insane the whole time. But not really. He's got a straitjacket. What if Batman thought he was actually insane? I mean,
I like straitjackets.
Yeah.
Like, design-wise, but it's not for Batman.
Yeah, and you got the big W for Wayne, which kinda looks like a bat. I like that it looks like something he just cobbled together.
It's very much a nipples for me.
Yeah, and I just don't have any strong feelings about it. And I haven't read this comic, so I don't have full context, but this is what he wears at the end. It reminds me of the Rebirth suit, but not quite as epic. It's just got the flat yellow logo.
Yeah.
And it looks like a more optimistic Batman. God, there's so much going on in this one image. You got Mecha Robin Joker standing right behind him. You got that Superman baby, which looks traumatized. That's not even reflecting on the suit itself. I'm just making an observation. What do you think, Mr. Anno?
I'm putting this in hammers. It's kind of basic.
Yeah. And I like it. It just doesn't do anything original.
Yup.
Alright. Oh boy, this... It's not... I'm not even going to dignify this. Dark Knight's metal. This suit is made from imagination metal.
The suit looks cool. It's just the idea is ridiculous.
Yeah, metal is a stupid story, and this is a stupid concept. And imagination metal. What do I even say about that? I want to put it in Are You Dense, to be honest.
You want to put it in Are You Dense?
Yeah, this story is dense. The concept is dense.
We're crossing onto that other territory that you know what?
I know.
Just put it in there.
Alright, next up. I forget what this is from. Another armored suit. I believe this is from Superman Batman Generations? Some kind of Superman Batman thing.
This looks like an actual SWAT Batman.
He looks like if he took tank parts or parts from an armored car and made it a bat suit.
True.
I like that the symbol actually has rivets on it. And I'll leave this one up to you. I don't really have any strong feelings.
Hammers.
Alright, putting it in hammers. Yeah, it looks
So,
like
how far are we?
we've got a few more. We're getting close. You know, I just realized it looks like he hammered it together, so that's fitting.
Sure.
Alright, this one was a one-off suit, but this was from Superman Unchained. It was basically designed to, like, and he says it right there, he's supposed to be invisible to all sorts of electromagnetic spectrum lights. It feels like a precursor to Batman Beyond. Like, I could see him developing this further, and eventually we'd get Batman Beyond.
Oh, definitely. But it looks good on its own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd say he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Alright,
That's the first one in a while.
yeah. Okay, so this one is the final Batsuit, but not the final Batsuit on the list. That's just what it's called. This
Once
looks like
again,
Evangelion.
It also just like it has that divine presence that I'm kind of looking for in a Batsuit.
Yeah, I like the color scheme. The white and gold, it just works, and you got the blue energy.
It looks like one of my Transformers Dark Souls bosses.
Yeah. My party still hasn't forgiven you for that.
Good. I'm gonna subject him more to it later.
Oh boy. What do you think, Vengeance or Batman?
Vengeance.
Alright. He is Vengeance. Been a while since we had a Vengeance.
Oh yeah.
Alright, and these are both from Batman Superman Generation, so these are like consecutive Batmans. First one, I want to say this is Dick Grayson, but I don't remember. Kind of got
What the fuck is this?
You know, he's kind of got some Wolverine going on the mask.
He does, yeah. I'm sorry, but the shading on there makes it look like he's
Latex.
not only he's wearing latex, but it's like every muscle in his body looks like a testicle.
Okay, nipples or are you dense?
Nipples.
I'm surprised we don't see them, considering how every line on his body is contoured.
Yeah.
This is another one. This is called Citizen Wayne. I don't have any context for this beyond the fact that it exists.
I think this is Citizen Kane, but Citizen Wayne.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a 30s Batman, and it's unique. I'll give it that. It's unique.
It looks more bat-like.
Yeah.
I guess.
And the mostly yellow mask, it stands out, but I don't know if I'd say it's in a good way. It's just different. We can't say it doesn't try to be new.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it in nipples, but I'll let you make the call on this one.
That's such a hard. Look, it looks more bat-like, but in a less Batman-y kind of way, and more like a genuine. This looks like a knockoff Batman, so I'm gonna put it in nipples. I have to.
Okay. To give it credit, it does try something new.
It does. It
Yeah.
just fails at it.
Yeah. Alright, next one is the Dark Knights of the Round Table, which is Batman and King Arthur time. It looks like a knight. I'll give it that. I don't like the colors.
Yeah, no. The colors are disappointing, but the design is great. I like it.
Yeah, the bright blue and the chrome silver and the red belt for some reason and red eyes, that feels random.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to be like, oh, if it was the proper colors, but I feel like if it were in classic Batman colors, it'd be better.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
So, hammers just because the colors bring it down for me?
Yes, hammer on the iron.
Nice. Alright, I had to do a lot of research just to make sure I understood. This is basically like a Frankenstein what if, and this is actually Thomas Wayne. Bruce was like the Victor Frankenstein and brought his dad back to life as like an undead bat monster.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Yeah, I feel like it gets confused because it's trying to go for a Frankenstein thing, but he just mutates into a bat. It does look cool though. I do like.
It looks like a genuine like werebat.
Yeah, he looks like a Batman.
Yeah.
He is Batman. He is a Batman.
Honestly, I'd argue that he's Vengeance.
You know what? I can live with it. Alright, we only got a couple left. Are you ready?
Yep.
This is Batman Holy Terror. Batman if he was a priest.
I think we've already had a few of those, but this one feels a little
No,
lackluster
like
compared to the other ones.
this is straight up just Batman as the Pope, as a priest. It doesn't really convey that, though.
It really
does
doesn't. It doesn't.
The
It
lo-
feels like standard Batman, but like
with a
that's
weird
it.
logo, and it's got that random white patch going up from the logo to his neck. I don't know what that's all about.
It's supposed to be like the like what priests wear.
Oh,
Do you see it?
and maybe if they committed more to the priest aesthetic.
I feel like if they like for the design wise, I feel like they should have leaned more into the priestly outfit, but with bat-like designs. Like you could,
Yeah, like give him
make
a
it a little more flowing and like baggy and not so
yeah,
skin
like a
tight.
proper priest robe aesthetic.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it looks like Batman. It just doesn't go far enough with its concept. I'm kind of going towards nipples on this.
yeah, nipples.
Okay, Anna, we're on the last one. Buckle yourself in, because this is genuinely the weirdest one I found. I feel like I need to give you context first.
All right, lay it on me.
Alright, so this is from a comic called Batman Nosferatu, and it's trying to do like the whole German expressionist thing. Yeah.
This would look okay. So this would be good if it were the Joker doing this.
Yeah, I could see the Joker being brought back from the dead or something and thinking he's Batman. Granted, there is very little information online about this, but it's supposed to be like another vampire Batman, but it doesn't really look like a vampire. It just looks weird.
It looks like a classic era vampire and what they're supposed to be, which I really appreciate. Like,
Yeah.
I like this. It's just, it's not Batman. It's genuinely like creepy. I can't vibe with it.
Yeah, you could just call this a Nosferatu and completely disassociate the Batman from it.
Yeah, no. This looks like Hellraiser and like classic era Nosferatu.
Yeah. I almost want to put it in Are You Dense just because it doesn't have any Batman to it, but that feels too harsh.
Yeah.
Nipples?
Yeah, we'll put him in nipples. I think he's got some stiff nipples under there.
Yeah, he's wearing all that latex. Alright, that was the last one. 187 Batmans ranked.
Nice.
Did you just have that sound effect on hand?
Yeah, why?
You know what? Good on you for being prepared. I feel like a different man after having collected all of these.
Oh, really? How do you feel now? How do you feel?
I feel like I lost every aspect of my life in my obsession, and my wife took the wife and kids. She took the wife and kids, Anno! She took the wife and kids!
Oh, goodness.
Genuinely, this took me weeks to gather all of these, and I am sure I missed more. You know what, audience? Tell me if I missed more, but on the other hand, I don't want to hear it. This took enough of my time.
Well, still, this was awesome, and I'm glad for, having me on the show.
Yeah, I was not going to suffer through this by myself.
Suffer? No, this was fun.
Yeah, depending on the reaction, I might do more of these. I don't know if I'll do a Spider-Man. That guy has way too many.
Let's do a Joker one.
That might be fun, though. I feel like that would just be, oh, this sure is a clown in a purple suit. And
there's some pretty good interpretations out
yeah,
there.
I might do more of these. Maybe do some Robins. You know there have been plenty of those. Yeah, any closing thoughts before we end this whole shindig?
Sure, yeah. Here are my closing thoughts. Yeah, so
I'm going to kill every last one of you.
if you don't like and subscribe.
Anno, I swear to God,
Yes.
you're supposed to say the thing. I was giving you an out. Alright, I'll say it. Swear to me!
Ah, right.
But, yeah,
Swear to me, you son of a bitch!
Whoa! I'm gonna be honest, part of me was tempted to put Pete Holmes Batman in here for the funsies, but that's just cheap knockoff of Christian Bale, so I wouldn't be adding anything
but I have
new.
a final Batman for us to talk about.
Yes?
The ultimate Batman.
He is vengeance. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will add this in post. He is vengeance. I'll add it in post.
Something's in my...
This is gonna be so much fun to edit. But yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, no, this is,
And-
once again, I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to do something different for both of us that wasn't like role-playing related, something that wasn't Transformers. I just wanted to branch out a little bit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And, to anyone, to like the 1% of you guys who, like, care, I'm going to be doing, well, me and Arrow, and, you know, the rest of my gang, -1, we're gonna be doing videos again.
Woo! I've been waiting.
Yeah, no, and I'm sorry for the long wait. It's just there was a lot of personal stuff in the way, and of course we had to get rid of a certain player, but, you know, we're past that.
I watched half my family die, and I am still recording these sessions. What's your excuse now? And no, life just kind of happens like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will leave a plug to Anno's stuff in the description somewhere below so you can check him out. We may do more of these, just depends on viewer feedback, and yeah, I don't have an intro. Peace.